The topic of saving money can oftentimes make people feel a little guilty. You're probably somebody that has good intentions when it comes to saving money, but something always seems to catch you by surprise. Maybe your car breaks down, maybe you go over on your electricity bill, or maybe your house needs some new repairs. And just like that, saving money quickly becomes the last thing on your mind. So you put it off and you tell yourself that you'll learn how to start saving money once you reach a certain milestone, like you hit a specific age, graduate from college, or get that raise at work that you're after. But realistically, you'll only start saving money once you learn how to manage your money and create good saving habits. You need to come to the realization that your future needs are more important than your current wants. After you realize this, only then will you start making saving money a priority. Everything doesn't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have all the stars aligned before you start saving. There's plenty of practical ways to save money and take some stress off of your budget. The first one here is to cut down on groceries. Many people will be shocked to see how much they're actually spending at the grocery store every single month. And if you're the average American family of 4, you're probably spending somewhere around $920 per month on groceries, maybe even a little bit more, depending if you go out to eat frequently. It's pretty easy to walk up and down those grocery aisles, grabbing a bag of chips here and a couple bags of treats there, but those little purchases will add up quite a bit and end up blowing your budget every month. The way I save money on groceries is by planning out my meals for the week and looking at what I already have at home before I go to the store, because why would you want to buy more of what you already have? And if you really want to stick to your list, make sure you eat before you go shopping so you don't get cravings from those snacks and treats that you don't need. The next one is to cancel automatic subscription services and memberships. Most likely you're someone who's paying for multiple subscription services like Netflix, Spotify, gym memberships, and Amazon Prime. I used to be like this too, especially once they lure you in with a free month of a subscription service. I told myself that I would only use the free month trial and cancel it after. Well, I would forget to do this, and this was for multiple subscription services. At one point, I was getting charged around $50 per month on my credit card, and this was for 4 months straight. Luckily, I called the customer service, and they were nice enough to refund me all of my money since they saw I didn't use any of the subscription services for the time being, but it was still a big hassle since I had to call like 5 different companies' support lines. Just remember to cancel those subscriptions after if you are going to use the free trial, and also make sure to cancel any subscriptions you aren't using regularly. If it's something like a gym membership where you feel guilty because you're paying and you're not going, which I know many people that do this, it's better to just cancel it. And if you decide you can't go without it, subscribe again, but only if it fits your new and improved budget. For those subscription services that you want to keep, maybe think about sharing them between some family members or some friends to split the cost between you two. That way you both can use them and help each other save some money every month. Another thing that you could consider applying is the 30-day rule. Sometimes you might not even think about the purchases you make and buy things spontaneously. It happens to most of us when there's something that we really like and want to buy it immediately. I like to apply this tactic for most of my purchases, especially for those big purchases. You should never buy expensive things that are hundreds or even thousands of dollars on a whim. You shouldn't wake up one day and tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna go buy a brand new car today, or I'm gonna go buy an expensive computer without fully thinking about it. You should give yourself time to process purchases and think about them, because sometimes you could end up with buyer's remorse, and that is definitely not fun. You thought the item was gonna make you happy, but now you just feel guilty because you spent all of your savings on something that you didn't really need. For example, I just purchased the new MacBook Pro and it cost me around $3,200. You might say that this is implausible because you're watching this video about saving money, but this is something that I've had planned out for months ahead. I made sure that I actually wanted it, but most importantly, I made sure that it fit within my budget. It's good to buy things that you like or need, especially something like a good computer that could actually help you make more money or become more productive. You don't want to be cheap and not spend any money at all, because that could just end up making you miserable. For the next one on here, if you're someone that struggles to save money under any circumstances, stop taking on more debt, but specifically just stop using credit cards. Just cut up all your credit cards. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have good credit or try to build up your credit score, but sadly, 95% of people do not use credit cards to their advantage, and they end up paying these crazy amounts of interest on top of their monthly credit card payments. If you're someone that doesn't fully pay off their credit cards every single month, then the monthly credit card payments will become the biggest buzzkill when it comes to saving money. You're just gonna keep putting yourself into more debt, and the same thing goes with taking on a $300 or a $400 monthly car payment for the next 6 to 7 years. Even though your credit card payments might be less than a car payment, which I hope they would be, if not, that would be pretty scary. But moral of the story is that debt will destroy your ability to save money. The fastest way to pay off your debts is with the debt snowball method. This is where you pay your debts off in order from smallest to largest. I know it may sound kind of intense, but it's more about behavior change than the actual numbers themselves. Think about it. If you didn't have a monthly car payment, student loan payment, or a monthly credit card payment, you could instead take the money that you would have had to use to pay on those balances and use it to build an investing portfolio or a savings account that you add a couple $100s to every single month to build up a net worth or a cushion so you won't have to worry about money all the time. Lastly, for my final tip here would be to just get educated on money. If you can't seem to save money, no matter how hard you try, you really need to take a step back and ask yourself, am I even starting in the right place? You can watch YouTube videos, read articles on CNBC or other blogs about how to save money, investing strategies, and things of that nature. But personally, my favorite form of education is through books, and I consider myself a pretty big book nerd. I would recommend getting your hands on a book about money or budgeting. Personally, I really like this book by Robert Kiyosaki, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've mentioned this book on my channel a couple other previous times. You don't have to read this exact book, but this is one that I would just recommend. You can also just go to your local library and look for a book about budgeting or saving money, and this would be completely free to do so. Most people are not financially educated. I mean, who could blame them? These are things that weren't taught in school, and this applies to everyone. Whether you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or any high-paying profession, yeah, you could be making a lot of money, but just because you make a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean you know how to manage money. For example, somebody like a software engineer for Microsoft could be making about $150,000 per year, but if they're spending $149,000 per year, opposed to the Walmart manager that's making $35,000 per year and saves 25% of his income, yeah, the software engineer is going to be making more money, but they're still going to be poorer than the Walmart manager. Not to sound so harsh, but that's just the reality of it. Like I said, there's tons of free resources online and some books that you guys can check out on the topics of finances, budgeting, and money. Speaking on the topic of books, I recently made a video about the 5 books that have had the biggest impact on my life, and if you guys want to watch that, I'll probably link that somewhere around right here. Hopefully you guys found some value in today's video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.